Welcome to another episode of the Brown Couch Bros, your go-to Detroit sports podcast.
That's right. I'm your boy Jess, a.k.a. A-Game. We're here to bring the latest and the greatest from the D, the 313.
And it's your boy, The Loaf, ready to dive right into the heart of Detroit sports with two of my guys, the Honcho and the A-Game.
Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, PSL Sports, Michigan State, we got you covered.
We'll break down the games, analyze the stats, and give you the hot takes that you didn't know you needed.
Plus, we bring you some amazing guests, legends of the game, Detroit historians, here to share their insights and stories.
So grab a seat on the couch, kick back, and let's get into the action.
Here we go.
Welcome to another episode of the Brown Couch Bros.
Welcome back to the Brown Couch.
Yeah.
We the Brown Couch.
The Brown Couch.
All the people who were saying, where's the couch? Where's the couch? How come y'all not on the Brown Couch? We here, baby. We here, baby. How's it feel, fellas?
Man, feels good. Feels good. Nice and plush. Nice and plush for the
We had a
people.
reputation we had to uphold.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting on it.
Yeah. Well, Brown Couch Bros, man. We here, we listen to the comments, and we've answered. We've answered with the couch, baby. We're doing it our way.
Keep sharing and liking, man.
Yeah.
Them sponsorship dollars, they come in.
That's right.
Hey,
That's right.
Trust me.
Now that we on this Brown Couch, now the sponsorship should go up.
Yeah, let's go.
The price just went up. The price just went up. So in customary fashion, let's tip it off.
We got to
Bam.
Toast it up.
Toast. Long distance over there with the A-Game.
No doubt. Here we go, man. Let's go, man. Let's get it.
All right, let's tip it off. Jess, what you got for your tip off today?
Man, so the last couple of weeks, man, just in sports in general, we've been having a lot of media on media beefs, player on player beefs. I just wanted to get y'all thoughts, man. What y'all think about the new school coming at the old school? We had Gilbert Arenas tell me that Isaiah Thomas was overrated.
He told you personally.
Well, not personally, but he might as well been talking to me.
Because it was personal.
It was personal for me, man.
Talking about Zeke, man.
I got a guy like Ashanti Samuel saying that, Deion wasn't the GOAT, I just want to know y'all thoughts, man. The old schools, they get a mic in front of them, we got a mic in front of us, and, we don't go after cats like that, especially that we know that have GOAT status.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think about these cats, man? Just mic in front of them and jumping up and saying what they saying.
Well, particularly when you're talking about arguably the greatest point guard, small man of all time, Isaiah Thomas, one of my heroes growing up. Gilbert Arenas, shh, be quiet. This guy's a top 50 player, top 75 player. Whenever they come out with the top 100, he's going to be on that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that Isaiah didn't accomplish in his career is been on that 1992 USA team.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know the reasons behind that. But as far as Ashanti Samuels talking about prime, when you grew up and you wanted to be a corner, you emulated prime. He was a lockdown corner. He's the best corner that ever played the game. Period. Samuel's good numbers, but not in Prime's league. Right. A lot, and that's not a slight on him. Because there's nobody really in Prime's league.
No.
So heed your tone, young fellas. Heed your tone.
Guy told me a long time ago, read the room. If you the only one saying it,
right.
It might be you.
It might be you.
It might just be you.
It might just be you.
No one else thinks that Zeke is overrated. No one else that thinks that Asante Samuel is better than Deion or got just as good as numbers as Deion. These guys, man, they were a movement. Isaiah Thomas came to Detroit early 80s. And in a matter of a few years, were able to catapult the Pistons from the bottom to championship level organization. Same with Deion. Mm-hmm. Every place he went, he impacted that franchise, that city, that region. Those guys deserve their flowers, but they also deserve the respect from guys who played after them. There is no Asante Samuel without Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders essentially revolutionized the position of corner and made it a shutdown a corner, taking off the half of the field, getting guys paid. You owe Deion. He owe him.
You owe him.
Technically, you do.
He owe him. Gilbert Arenas, you owe Isaiah.
Yep.
I mean, for a little guy to you had to see it 1st. He gave you an opportunity to see it so that you can become some semblance of that. So these guys, man, respect your elders.
There you go.
Respect your elders, but also understand when you the only guy saying it,
You might
probably
be you.
shouldn't be saying it. It may just be you.
Well, I mean, like you said, Samuel was a great player in his day. You know, probably unsung in most cases, depending, who you, because when we start talking corners, man, the first 3 or 4 names that come up, of course, is Deion, Darrell Reeves, Rod
Reeves
Woodson,
Island.
Charles Woodson. So, you got a pecking order to get to Samuel. It's a pecking order, man. So, and then as far as Gilbert Arenas, I don't know where that came from, but, you started throwing names out there. You started, touting John Stockton's career, which was a great career, Hall of Famer. But, let your eyes tell you, man. Let your eyes tell you. Isaiah was leaps and bounds, beyond, to me, John Stockton, for what they did, and they were asked to do different things. Isaiah was definitely asked to score more and, get everybody involved. Stockton did have Karl Malone that he got involved. But, man, I just don't know where all this beef is coming from, man, from the younger fellas, man. And I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that.
It all started with Kendrick and Drake. I blame Kendrick and Drake for all the beef.
Well, look, let me add one little caveat to that, particularly when you're talking about Deion Sanders. So you mentioned other Hall of Fame corners, Woodson, Aeneas Williams, Southern University graduate.
Yep.
Can't remember my man that played in Denver, cornerback. Brother played in the league too, Hall of Famer. But when you mention Deion Sanders against other Hall of Famers, he stands above them. I remember one time he said that the Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame, but it's some guys, and I think we talked about this before, that's bigger than the Hall of Fame. Like, I respect Emmitt Smith, but he not no Barry Sanders. I respect other receivers in the league, but they're not Calvin Johnsons and Jerry Rice. They stand above some of the Hall of Famers, the Lawrence Taylors of the world. Those are guys who are, I hate to say it, they're above some of the Hall of Famers that's wearing those gold jackets. So, to your point, man, Deion Sanders, different caliber, different breed, as they would say. It's a totally different breed. Even when Hall of Famers walk in the room, it's like when Michael Jordan walk in the room. You were great, but that's
Michael Jordan.
That's the greatest.
Yeah. It was
in my opinion.
It was a funny story on the Deion. They was like,
Champ Bailey. That's what.
Champ Bailey. That's who he's talking about, the champ.
Yep.
So on Deion, they said when San Francisco couldn't get Jerry open because he was in Atlanta. What San Francisco do? They went and got Deion. When Michael Irvin couldn't get past Deion in San Francisco, what Dallas do? We went and got Deion. So we going to get the guy so we can get him up out our way. We went and got him. So credit to Deion for that, man. But young fellas, stay in your lane. That's the word they've been using today. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. What you got for your tip off, Webb?
Real quick, man, I want to give a shout out the coach. It's not big news, but here in the city of Detroit, Coach Kate Ector over at UAD, women's basketball coach, she just got hired by Western Michigan. She came and rebuilt our program at UAD. I think when she got there first year, I think they won 3 or 4 games. Year before last, she went 17-15. This year, she went 15-15. So she's rebuilt the program. She came in with nothing and kind of did it her way. Shout out to her. She just got hired by Western Michigan, so she's going to be moving to the mid-major. And she played at Bowling Green. She's going to be moving to the MAC. Another tip-off I had, we got the Big Three coming back to Detroit. Going to be coached by Hall of Famer, the Iceman, George Gervin.
Finger roll.
Detroit Amplifiers. I think
the Amplifiers,
that's going to be the name. So we're going to have some Big Three basketball. And we always talk about and we've had it before on the episodes a couple of times about the city, how sports team.
That's right.
Can we hold 4? Can we hold this many, that many? That right there proves the point right there. So you got the Pistons, you got the big 3, you got the Detroit Red Wings, the Tigers, the Lions. So
Michigan Panthers starting
got
up.
the Panthers.
Got the Panthers starting up.
When's the tryouts for the big 3?
We bringing him back, y'all. We bringing him back.
Is you ready? But yeah, that's my tip off, man. Shout out to Coach Actor over at UAD. Did a good job. You did a great job, actually. And we got the big 3 basketball coming back.
Funny part about the Western Michigan thing is that Western Michigan and hockey, which we don't talk a lot about, but they're in the Final Four, so that's going to be big for them. So she moving to a program that's trying to put some trophies on the wall.
And to the Honcho's point, Western, they giving her the NIL commitment. So she getting NIL money. They building a new stadium on campus. She got a slight pay raise from what she was going to be making. I want to tell her what kind of money she was going to be making, but almost $300K. From Western, so everything was moving in a great direction for her to make that decision. Probably wasn't even a hard decision. The MAC I think is a tad above in basketball. I think from a conference standpoint,
in the horizon, in the
horizon. So man, that NIL it's a deal breaker. It's a game changer. So
yeah. Well, real quick tip off for me.
What you got?
Lost Juju Watkins. Lost Juju, man, in the women's NCAA tournament, man, and I've said it on this show, on this couch, a number of times. It's she's must see TV, and so she goes down with a right ACL, which is unfortunately very common in women's basketball for a lot of women to go down with those ACL injuries, man, and so she'll be out for what I assume the rest of next year.
The rest of next year, you think?
I'm sure. I mean, for it to happen so late in the season, you're talking about second round of the NCAA tournament. For her to come back in 6 months, 9 months, you're talking middle of the season, man. I don't think that happens. I think she takes the whole rest of the next year off, which she should take next year off, get healed, get healthy, be ready to go in a year from now. Back ready, strong, and dominating once again. So to Juju, get well soon.
Get well, yeah, for sure.
Get well soon, man. I think she's actually that next level, the next tier of women basketball players is going to take the dub and take women's basketball to a whole nother level. So hate to see her go. Get well soon. Be back dominating once again.
So just want to expand on that. Will she get the year? An
she'll
extra
get it
year
back. So she'll probably medical red shirt.
She'll
get that year back. So she'll be going into what'll be her junior year after next year.
Okay.
And then have 2 more years left.
All right, well, and then also USC, they still got a shot.
Yeah,
they still balling, still got a shot. As well as Nike next year is saying that they're going to present a Juju Watkins shoe.
Listen, man.
So that's going to be coming out. So she's about to turn up and make some money even on the sidelines, especially if she sits out the year. She's still going to make some money.
Yesterday's price ain't today's price. The money is going up.
It's going up.
I just went and ordered a Juju shirt. The one with her little bun on it, the Nike one with the little bun on it with the swoosh on it. So I'll break it out on the next show, man.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, shout out to Juju, get well, and looking for bigger things to come from you.
For sure. All right, well, let's get into it, fellas. Let's get into it. This week in sports, 1994. 1994. Ooh, that was a long time ago, man. What was you doing in 94?
I got married in 94.
Okay.
Yeah. What else was I doing? I had just graduated from the Detroit Police Academy in 94. Shout out to my old class, 94E. We graduated March 21st, 1994.
Nice.
Class 94E. Yeah.
Man,
What was you doing in 94, Jeff?
man, I was selling shoes at Kenny's shoe store, Northland Mall, man. But celebrating, I was celebrating some stuff, sport team wise. I was celebrating, but yeah, man, life was good, man. 94, I wasn't paying mortgage, so that was good. That was good for me in life. But yeah, man, 94, man. Well, so what actually happened in 94? Because I know I was doing a little celebrating. What you got that was happening?
Well, in 1994, Jimmy Johnson from your Dallas Cowboys
Yeah, we were celebrating.
How about them Cowboys?
steps down.
Then we started crying. Then my crying started.
You got
Buried, man.
You got buried, man.
You won it.
You still won it, but man. Hey, man, listen.
And he just retired for real.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's done. But yeah, man, I hated to see Jimmy go, man. That was in 94, huh?
94. 94.
Hated to see him go, man. And things, and that was still his team that Switzer had.
Yeah, well,
that was still his team, man. But
I was just finishing my freshman year in college. 94. 94. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, that was a good year.
Experienced life yet.
That was a good year.
Telling our age, I guess.
yeah.
The Doggy Style album came out. Gin and Juice.
Oh, well.
In college? Come on, man. Come on.
That
man.
mean I must have been in Bobby G somewhere.
Weren't
Won't we all?
The Blue Note.
Man, yeah, Jimmy Johnson, man, great career in Dallas, man. Didn't he come back though? Went to Miami? Didn't he left, came back, went to Miami,
he
but
on CBS Sports.
yeah,
with them guys.
With Fox, yeah, Fox.
Fox.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Jimmy Johnson, man. Thank you for what you did with the Cowboys, man. And I wish y'all could tighten that up a little sooner.
And you mentioned Bobby G's, man.
Bobby G's, man, around the corner from where you used to be.
Yeah, man. Wednesday night at Bobby G's, man. They give you a ticket. You get 5 pieces of chicken for $2.
How many pieces?
5.
Oh, man.
This guy said 5 pieces of chicken.
5 wings. Yeah, 5 wings. Cost you $5 to get in. You get your little stub. You take that up and we give you 5.
Oh, man. No bottle service?
No bottle service.
No.
Man.
Let's get into game time, fellas. It's game time. So look, I celebrated St. Francis going to the NCAA tournament a couple shows ago. And in a flash, no pun intended.
No pun intended. I was
In a
about to say
flash.
the flash.
They decide to get out of the NIL game. That's what that's how I consider it. Get out of the NIL game, leave Division I athletics, and go Division III. In a matter of days after losing in the playing game in the NCAA tournament, I can't tell you how devastated, I was, and a lot of my former teammates and alumni from St. Francis University, particularly those who play sports, from soccer, women's soccer, to men's basketball, to volleyball program, all top-notch programs at the university. And we're, just simply devastated. Leaving Division I, going to Division II, announcement being made the Monday after we lose in the NCAA tournament. So, it really got me to thinking, and we've seen a couple of folks come out. You said that Colin Cowherd had, made some comments about it. But is this going to be a trend of Division I programs, particularly the mid-majors to low D1s, deciding to get out of the NIL game altogether and going to a lower division conference for an opportunity to compete? I guess my frustration is we were essentially at the top. You got a team that finishes, wins the tournament, finishes third in the conference, wins your conference tournament, gets an opportunity to go and get an automatic bid in the tournament, fares well against Alabama State, and then all of a sudden, you pull yourself back and go Division III. And the comments that the university made were really, pretty
Up front,
clear and up front. We don't want to pay guys to play. We don't want to pay the tab that it costs to really compete at a Division I level. So do you all think, man, we can't be the only school? I hope we're not the only school.
You're not. You're not.
We can't be the only school. And do you all think that this is sort of they're starting a trend? And will we see more schools leave Division I and go to lower division to compete in athletics?
I think me and you had a conversation about it earlier this week. Yes, you're going to see more schools leaving Division I, maybe not dropping down to 3, but 2. But I think that NIL, a lot depends on alumni. I know with this young kid over at Michigan, Bryce Underwood, he was on his way to LSU. And to a young lady and her boyfriend, she Michigan alum, they stepped up and gave the university $10 million for this kid. The state to come to Michigan. We talked about it. I asked you, I said, who was your most famous alumni? You was like Charles Schwab, the one we see on TV and all of that. It's going to take millionaires and, wealthy people to donate money to programs so you can keep your best athletes. You said yourself, we lose our best player every year. Because of NIL.
Every year.
You have to give some of these kids some incentives to come to your university for one and to stay. So we were talking, I was like, maybe you give these guys $20,000 walking in the door, a recruit. You lease them a vehicle for the 4 years or all the times and after the end of the lease, if you graduate, we'll pay off the car for you. I know that might be asking a lot, but when you're dealing with multimillionaires, especially coming from those programs and those schools, that's where you have to reach back in and say, hey, look, man, we want to stay Division I. Can you make a donation, a yearly donation to our athletic program? And to your point, when we were talking, that kind of money will supplement all the programs pretty much on your campus.
Yeah.
So it not only does it help basketball, it might help the soccer team, which you said y'all great in soccer.
Yeah.
And, so I think, one, to your point, you're going to get more schools dropping down. I don't know if they're going to drop to 3. But 2, you also need a wealthy alumni to give back to those programs or give more to those programs.
Give more to
if
them,
they want to stay Division I to compete.
Yeah, you're right. I know at Tennessee State, we're having money issues at Tennessee State, which is beyond the sports program, which is a lot of the reasons why Eddie George left and went over to Ball State. He just can't compete with the money that's already being mishandled on the campus, let alone through the sports program. So I don't anticipate Tennessee State making that move yet, but as the money doesn't come in, they're going to be looking into it, and y'all might have just set an example for what they may want to do down the line. Yeah. So I agree with you, man. NIL, I mean, it's kind of killing the little schools, and I think that's okay for the big schools. They we got the big pocketbooks already, so they don't care. And I mean, it's almost the American way. The people with the money, they don't care what happens down here, long as we continue to get ours. Mm-hmm. And I think you're gonna see a lot of that with the NIL, a lot of the schools, and the big, like I said, the bigger schools ain't coming in to help you because they're benefiting from it.
So if you have I give you a prime example. Our last president, President Garibaldi.
Over at Southern, you talking about? Or at UAD? Okay, UAD.
Okay, UAD.
Antoine Garibaldi.
Antoine Garibaldi. Yeah, shout out to old Prez. He raised, before he left, he had raised $110 million for our endowment at UAD. Mm-hmm. Now, we're private. So all this money comes from alumni, sponsorships, 4G, whoever you want to call it. Yeah. But he raised, when he left, we have $110 million to work with at UAD. That's putting up new buildings, tearing down old buildings and stuff like that. And when we're a private institution, so we don't get public funds. Mm-hmm. So
St. Francis is the same.
So it has to be somebody, you get you a president that can work and maneuver to get people to donate to your university, or it could just be a one-time check from Charles Schwab to say, here go $5 million, spread it around. But I want us to stay Division I. Those board members probably would have listened. If they would have gave Mr. Schwab, I don't know, an opportunity. I don't even know. Or whoever, not just Schwab, but any other alumni.
I'm not at the table, so I don't know. These are decisions that are made with the board of directors, with the trustees, and that board gets together to make these decisions. I know the effect that it has had on alumni, particularly those who play sports at the university. And the message that it sends to folks is that the university no longer values athletics. And when you think about it in that way, like I'm thinking about it, it's really sort of a slap in the face to those who competed with SFU or SFC across that chest. Because, and I say this all the time, and I'm a career educator, taught school, been around institutions of higher learning pretty much all my life. And this is coming from me. No one's pulling up to anybody's college or university to watch somebody dissect a frog or a math class or watch somebody do some equations. Nobody's pulling up to see that. What are they pulling up to see?
To see the ball.
Football, basketball, soccer, volleyball. This is the attraction that universities have to the rest of the country.
Yeah.
I only know about Duke University
because of basketball.
Because of basketball. Coach K.
Yeah. Absolutely.
After the Fab Five at Michigan, what happened to enrollment at University of Michigan Ann Arbor? It went up. Not because they're the leaders at best in the classroom.
Because the basketball team brought it
because of them 5 freshmen that are out there on that basketball court.
Yeah.
So let's not fool ourselves into thinking that people are going to want to come to your university because you got a great a science program. That doesn't happen.
Mm-mm.
They come because there's a level of energy behind the institution that extends beyond the classroom. And I've said this on a number of occasions. The playing surface is simply an extension of the classroom. And so when you marry the two, you got something great. And I think we were able to do that at a Division I level at St. Francis. Now, going to a Division III, I don't know that you even attract kids from Ohio, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Eastern Pennsylvania. I don't think you do that anymore.
Well, you attract them, but they Division III kids.
Yeah, but I don't even think they go.
You think that's what you're gonna get?
I don't think they travel across the country to go to St. Francis when they got a Division III school right in their neighborhood.
Well, that is true. You did show me the boundaries of
you're talking about a conference that's primary. St. Francis is going to a Division III conference where all the schools are going to be in Pennsylvania,
right there,
Pennsylvania,
within a couple of hours from one another.
So why would I travel down the road to St. Francis
when it's right here?
One right here in my backyard.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. So, I mean, it's a travesty, man, and it was heartbreaking to go from that high of a high. Making it to the NCAA tournament, to that low of a low.
They didn't even give y'all a chance.
That's what I was going to say. Well, they didn't. Yeah.
Not only did you lose the game, you lost your program.
Right. Oh man, I'm still in mourning. It's like a roller coaster ride. I don't know.
But also,
I don't know if I'm going to come in right now.
Also, they didn't give the alumni a chance from the sound of it, unless they was talking about it prior to everything. They didn't even give y'all a chance to offer y'all rebuttal onto why this is not.
Nobody I talked to knew this was happening. Nobody I talked to
what they call a coup.
Knew this was coming.
Exactly.
This was like losing. When the Cleveland Browns left in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And went to Baltimore. This was like that. Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
I wonder, was it? Why Division III? I mean, you still have Division II, but I guess that's apples and oranges. I don't know. But
to be honest with you, when you drop down from one,
it don't matter. It
don't matter where you went. It don't matter where you went.
Don't matter where you
don't matter.
Exactly.
Having said all that, I do want to give a shout out to Rob Krimmel, my former teammate, who's head coach at St. Francis. the D1 St. Francis for a number of years. Had a phenomenal career as a player, then as an assistant, and as a head coach at the program. Gave his heart and soul to that program, to that school and that community, man. And I want to just really commend him for the way that he's handled all of this. Unfortunately, he has stepped down. He's gonna step away from coaching for a while and just reassess, be a dad, and you know, reassess where he wants to go and what he wants to do next. But he's just been outstanding and tremendous. You know, the success that he has had there couldn't have happened to a better human being. And he is truly that.
Shout out to Coach Crimmel.
Shout out to Coach Crimmel.
He's been there for a minute, huh?
16 years, man. Long time. Long time as a coach. And then as a player. He is St. Francis. And really the connection that all of us have that played in that era to the program was really through him. But having said that, with tragedy sometimes comes triumph, right? And, you know, my former coach, Tom McConnell, his son, Luke McConnell, who was also on the staff at St. Francis, has now been named the head coach at St. Francis, D3 St. Francis. And so I mean, you know, you got to make
you got to
make the distinction. It's not a shot at D2s and D3s.
Right.
I have to make the distinction.
You're going to go to some games, right?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm an alumni.
Right,
Support the program.
Support the program.
But I will say, you know, congratulations to Luke for being named head coach. I wish him all the success. I think it's an opportunity for him, really, having seen what high-level basketball looks like and being a part of it for so long, to really go into this conference and dominate. And dominate. I'm expecting nothing but domination from our school going to this new conference. So, Luke, all eyes on you, bro.
Yeah.
All eyes on you.
Well,
I remember Luke used to run around the gym with a ball. Ball was big as him.
Right.
When he would come into our practices. And so he's been around it for a long time, man. And so congratulations to you, but job starts now. And we're expecting big things out of you because we deserve it.
Yeah, well,
what we've been through, we deserve it, man. And so, you know, hopefully everything works out with the program.
Cool.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing y'all on ESPN Ocho at some point. At this point. Yeah, and the tournament time. We'll see you on the Ocho.
I see you on Tubi.
Tubi game of the week.
Tubi game of the week.
St. Francis versus St. Vincent.
Yeah, whoever.
Tubi game of the week.
Y'all come on right after. Y'all come on right after Cass King.
Hold on.
Cass King gonna get yeah, come on, Cass King. And then let St. Francis the next guy.
This is what I gotta go through, man. This is what I gotta go through. It's all y'all fault.
Man.
It's all y'all fault, man.
Where you taking this, man? Where you taking this?
I don't know where we can go now. Man, so wanted to jump off into some fan rules. You know, we all kind of talk about it on the couch. I don't know that we've ever really addressed it on the show. Talk about our fandom and that sort of thing. So I thought we'd take a little time to sort of do that. And with, in my opinion, with fandom always comes a story behind the fan.
All the time.
And so what I thought we'd do is kind of talk about where we are in our own personal fandom and then go over a few rules, see if you agree with them, see if they make sense, or see if you have a different perspective on these fan rules. So I'll start off. I'm primarily a fan of all the teams where I live. So all the Detroit teams, professional teams, I'm a fan of. It gets a little tricky for me when it comes to colleges and universities because neither Michigan or Michigan State recruited me. So, you know, I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a fan of either one of those institutions, but I do root for them when they compete. I want to see all the schools in the area that I live in be successful. Will you see me with a U of M hat, shirt, sweatshirt? No. Will you see me with a Michigan State hat, sweatshirt? No. You'll only see me in a college or university garb where I competed. So I'm gonna wear my St. Francis Division I hat.
The Division I.
Division I. Sweatshirt, hoodie, all of that. That's what I will wear. Now, I do have one caveat, and that's with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Laker fan because when I first started watching basketball, it was Lakers, Celtics. It was high-paced, high-speed basketball versus slow-down, methodical basketball. It was purple and gold versus green and white. And I gravitated to the purple and gold early. It was Magic Johnson, it was Flash, it was Dash. I'm a Laker fan. I'm not a Laker fan because of Kobe. I'm not a Laker fan because of LeBron. I'm a Laker fan because of Magic and Kareem and Worthy and Byron Scott and all those early teams of the Lakers. So that's where my fandom begins and ends.
For me, I'm kind of like you, hometown fan of all our sports teams. You know, I love all our sports teams. I am a fan of individuals also. I wasn't a Laker fan growing up. I was always a Philadelphia 76ers fan because I loved Dr. J. I thought he was the ultimate basketball player at the time. When those battles went down with LA and the Sixers, or the Sixers in Boston, never been a Celtics fan, never, ever, or individual player fan.
It's blasphemous to be a Celtics fan.
But I am, I do like individuality as far as, I'll give you a prime example. I know we hadn't talked about it yet, but we're going to get to it. I was a Michigan fan growing up like everybody else, pretty much. And, once my son committed to Ohio State back in 2012, 2013, I kind of switched my allegiance, and I've been solid Ohio State ever since. Hadn't went back to Michigan. Don't even wear Michigan nail you anymore. I do like Michigan State, though, because they did recruit me, partially to play some baseball and some football.
Okay.
I am an individual fan of Charles Woodson. I love Charles Woodson. To me, he's arguably right up under Deion as one of the greatest corners that ever played the game. So I always root for Woody. But other than that, man, I think that when you got to have a reason to switch allegiance, for one.
You had a good one.
And I've been steadfast with it. So even if you can ask my harshest enemies, that's one of them. Man, when you coming back, your son gone. Nah, I'm good. We just want a natty.
You sticking and staying.
I'm sticking and staying. So that's my spiel.
Now, this ought to be interesting.
This is going to be crazy, man.
This is really the reason why we got this question and did this segment on this show, particular topic. Because I can't understand none of what this guy about to say.
So look, man, I break every rule that's in your thing. I'm just going to tell you. I saw the outline. I was like, man, he talking to me. But no. So mine came early, 1975. My brother's a big homer. And I mentioned this before, episode 11. If you guys go to Spotify, check it out. Episode 11, I was saying that my brother's a big homer. He's all Detroit everything. So as a bigger brother, we all in the sports. My dad's a referee. I couldn't like who my brother liked. So we created that conflict. So the only people I knew was whoever was good in 75. So at the time, it was the Cowboys. It was the Red Sox, it was the 76ers. Now, ironically enough, all of them lost the championship that year. So I was on the losing end. So quickly, I'm like, okay, should I switch over to Pittsburgh? Should I switch over to Cincinnati? Should I switch over to the Portland Trail Blazers? My dad was like, nah, you can't do that. You pick the team. You ride with it. So ever since then, I stuck to that. I had to be that. I preach that in my household with my kids. So whoever, yeah. So whoever you got
gotta stick with
you
it.
got the open floor,
Right.
but you got to stick with it. So mine came along a little different. Now, to some of the rules on that, I'm gonna tell you. So say you playing Little League baseball like we did. So if my team name was the Cardinals, guess who I'm gonna start watching and liking? I'm gonna like the Cardinals. Everybody can't be the Tigers. Tigers 1, Tigers 2, Tigers. You can't
Fair.
be that. So you kind of also in your rules, and you'll get to them. I think you kind of gravitate to some of that as well. I honestly did play for the Yankees at one time. And as a Red Sox fan now, I look back and I laugh. I was like, man, I wrote in a journal one time. They was like, what you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I want to play second base for the Yankees. It's dirty in my mouth saying that now because I'm a Red Sox fan. But I also had a glove that said Bucky Dent. So
The kids don't know who Bucky Dent is.
Yeah, well, they don't, but he played for the Yankees. It's Bucky freaking Dent, depending on who you talk to in Boston. But so I came off a little different with that, and I just could never leave it because of what was instilled in me early, and that's why I became the fans of the teams I became. When you get into the college thing, yeah, I'm a Tennessee State guy first and foremost. So we're never going to compete on the Michigan, Ohio State levels. So I really have no true allegiance. I did like when I was in Nashville, how you always had to hear Tennessee this, Tennessee that. It got sickening to me. So when Florida was whooping them up. I used to be like, yeah, Florida got y'all. So it kind of stuck until my daughter went to Miami. I still feel dirty a little bit about this, but I followed the money, man. That's where my money went. So, let's go with the U. So, I'm a little different on that, but I understand some of the rules, man. So if you go through them, let's pick them apart and let's see where we stand on that.
My freshman year at St. Francis, this was before the upperclassmen showed up on campus. I show up at the basketball office with a Texas Longhorns hat on. And I'm sort of thinking like you. We'll never compete, two different levels or whatever. My coach, Tom McConnell, didn't feel the same. So he looked at my hat. And I'm wearing it because I like the colors. Mm-hmm. I'm not thinking anything of it. He looked at my hat and said, "Oh, Texas Longhorns, huh?" I said, yeah, I ain't thinking nothing of it. He said, we can play them, right? I was like, we got them on the schedule? I said, nah, but we can. So I suggest you take that hat off. Man, he talked about me so bad. Did me so bad that from that point on, I never wear another college's clothes, insignia, none of that ever again in life. Because I ain't play there. It was real simple for me. I got traumatized into, not veering off from where I played. So it was pretty easy for me.
I guess they won't have that conversation no more. Huh?
No, because we'll be playing the Tubi game
in the week. So to a story similar to that. So when I was at Tennessee State in 1990, I had a basketball class, and
I wouldn't have said that live on air.
I had a best. I mean, you're an athlete, man. You got to get some credit when you got Tennessee State. So listen,
that's one of them legendary basket we that the athletes used to be.
And crazy enough, I struggled in that class, and I'll tell you why too. I'll tell you real quick why though. But so we coming. It's 1990. So you're talking about the Pistons coming off of the 88, 89 and 90 championship. You also talking about University of Michigan, Ramil Robinson free throws. So I'm representing because I'm in another state. I'm representing the Michigan now, and Detroit. You know, I got my shirt on, so the coach, you know, the teacher, who's also the basketball coach, going through the class, you know, what's your name, where you from? So I say, I'm from the basketball capital of the world. He said, oh, what part of Kentucky? I was like, Kentucky? You know, because that's how they're thinking. I was like, no, I'm from Detroit. He's like, y'all not the basketball capital of the world. It's, you know, he thinking the Blue Bloods, Kentucky, Indiana, Rupp. But he's not thinking Michigan at all. I was like, man, we just won the title back to back. You know, Michigan just won. And he was like, son, y'all not the basketball capital. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't go back to that class into the final. I didn't go back to the final. And he went, and the coach, I went back one time before that, and the coach wasn't there, and they took attendance, put my name down. I bust up. Never went back to that class, to the final. Coach says, goes through the name, he said, Crowder. He said, son, you ain't been in my class all year. I said, oh, coach, I was here the day you weren't here. He's like, I've only missed one day. I was like, well, yeah, that was the day I was here. He said, son, you're not going to pass this class. I said, I'm a baseball player. He said, go get your coach. When they got coach, after raking some leaves, bagging up some stuff, cleaning out the house, I pulled a seat.
You mentioned the Texas hat incident because when we were at Southern University, and that's when back in my Michigan days, we always used to wear Michigan gear. It wasn't no problem down south wearing Michigan gear, stuff like that. But to your point, we did end up playing Texas in baseball in the NCAA tournament. And I kind of, when you said that you had on the Texas hat and your coach said, hey, we might play them one day. Yeah. And we did play my freshman year. We did play the University of Texas. Had them on the ropes. I think they beat us 4-3, 5-3 in the first round of the NCAA baseball tournament. So it can happen. It can happen. He told you right.
It scarred me for life. Yeah. Scarred me for life. So let's get into some of these rules.
What's the rules, man? Let me see what I done broke.
So tell me if you all agree with this. And these are fandom rules gathered by our research department from all over the country. And I've compiled them all into this list. Mm-hmm. You must root for your hometown teams. True or false?
True.
Clearly false. Clearly false for me. Now you can take a liking, like, you know, I don't knock. I'm sorry.
Speaking of Knox,
I do.
You said knock, but Mike Knox, Hasty Lions.
Yeah. So yeah. I'll root for the Tigers because I'm a baseball guy and I grew up going to Tiger games. So I don't mind when the Tigers do well, but when it comes to playing, you know, in certain situations with the Red Sox, I have to pick a side, you know, and I'm okay either way. But as far as the Lions, I don't root that way. I don't root the Pistons and Red Wings. Y'all did me dirty when I was a little tot. So, but no, I don't think you have to. But I think you stay with. I still say you stay with who you picked originally. You know, don't jump from because Golden State, because we got so many Golden State fans that don't even know Run TMC even existed.
Oh, they don't care.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay, that's not. Okay.
Number 2, can't switch up when your team is trash.
Nope. Can't do it.
True or false?
True.
True. Very true. Don't switch up.
Yeah, you got to ride with them.
You got to ride it. You got to ride with them bums. You ride it out. I've been riding the Cowboys for almost 30 years now, so.
So here's a different one, and this goes back to you. You can't switch teams at any time in life.
That's false for me. You know, I did it and feel good about it. Like I say, though, when, you know, I don't have any animosity towards U of M. I don't root for them. I don't root against them. Only time I root against them is when they play at Ohio State. Now, when they playing other teams, do I root against Michigan? I'd be like, no, I don't root against them. You know, I'm kind of neutral, you know, but false.
Well,
for me, a lot of this is about standing on business. Mm-hmm. You got to stand on principle. You gotta stand for something. If you consider yourself a Detroiter, a Michigander, you got to root for your hometown teams, and you can't switch up unless there's a story behind it.
And we'll get
with your parents or something, or you played for the team or something. It's gotta be a valid reason for the switch up. It can't just be because they're winning right now or I like a player on this team. For me.
I agree with that. I mean, my situation was kind of like that, you know. My son committed to Ohio State. I wasn't a Ohio State fan at that moment when he first committed, but eventually, you know, I wanted to follow my son. I wanted to support him. And, you know, they were winning. You know, they were, you know, a winning program. They won a national championship his freshman year. Hey, I've been hooked ever since. Well, I actually was hooked when he did commit. You know, hey, I'm rolling with my son. You know, I'm rolling with family. Family, we win this Ohio State. Nelia, I got to wear it with him. So that's where we were at.
So your true stand on business guy is William Sanders, who was an Oklahoma.
Barry's
dad.
Oh,
right. Yeah. So he loved Oklahoma so much that, you know, Barry at Oklahoma State, I'm still rooting for Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. We also had...
he said Jim Brown was still the greatest running back.
Right. So he's always standing on his.
Right. Yep.
I understand what you're saying. Like, so take Cleveland, for instance. Cleveland Brown fans, when they moved in, like you mentioned earlier, moved in the in the night. So would you be mad at Cleveland Brown fans for okay, I like the Ravens now? Or
yes,
you'll be mad because they left.
Because they left. It was betrayal. Mm-hmm. You can't root for a team that betrayed your team.
But now the players that you loved are still part of this team.
Nah, but see, I think football is different. Football, you root for the helmet. You root for the helmet.
I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna tell you why.
You don't root for the guy. Like, it doesn't matter who the quarterback of the Cowboys is. You're gonna root for the Cowboys.
I am gonna root for them, but yeah,
that's true.
So football is different. Football is not basketball. Basketball, I think there's more leniency in terms of being attached to players. Football, it's about the helmet.
Basketball, you can see the player's face. You can see him up close and personal.
You root for the helmet.
But still, you don't go with that player. You know, so Cleveland fans, Cavalier fans.
Yeah,
okay. I'll let you get to that. Okay, but to your point on the rooting for the helmet, and you know, people still wonder, man, how you still rooting for the Cowboys? You know, Jerry Jones, he this, he that. It's like, it's not Jerry Jones. I'm down with.
It's the star.
I'm down with the star and that team. So. Yeah. You know, and then same with the Boston Red Sox. You know, my grandfather, he hated the fact that he was a Cleveland Indian fan. Why? Because they had the first Black American League ball player.
Fair.
But here I am, like in Boston, who hated brothers. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't understand. So, you know, he couldn't understand why. But again, you know, at that time, I couldn't switch. I chose. So.
You committed. All right. You can be a fan of a player and not the team he or she plays for.
Agree. I'll give you a prime example. It didn't happen, but before he retired or after he retired, they thought that Barry might have been going to Miami to play for the Dolphins. And if he'd have went there, I still would have been a Barry Sanders fan. I mean, I'm just, you know, even you trade Isaiah Thomas to another team. I'm Isaiah all day.
I'm done.
You know. So
you leave my team, I'm done.
You done?
I'm done.
Not me.
I'm done.
Clearly not a LeBron fan here.
I'm done. I'm done.
Well, you might be
right,
now
because
he in LA. Because he in LA. So
the reason why Kobe Bryant is number 2 for me is because LeBron played for 3 different teams and Kobe played for 1. Mm-hmm. The only exception I give is to Mike. He owned the team. He owned the Wizards.
Right.
I'll give him a pass for that. But the reason why Kobe is number 2 and LeBron is number 3 on my list is because LeBron played for 3 different teams.
So the individual part, I do secretly root for certain guys. I'm like, right now, I love Russell Westbrook, but I'll never root for any team he's on unless he comes to the 76ers. But to see him do well, I applaud it secretly, you know, but you'll never see me wearing any of where he's at Denver now. But, you know, and he'll probably go somewhere else next year because he had actually playing pretty good. and he's on the contract to set up that way. But I'll always follow his career and root for him, and hoping that he does well. But I'll never applaud or speak highly of the team he's on. I'll speak always highly on him.
Well, you want to see guys do well, but I'm not going. If Cade Cunningham left the Pistons right now, went to wherever, do with Cade.
Well, I don't think. Well, Cade, he don't have enough longevity yet. But if he played here 8-9 years, and for some reason he had to go to it, either they traded him, things didn't work out with management or whatever, and he went to another team. If I'm a Cade Cunningham fan, I'm a Cade Cunningham fan. I'm not gonna root against him. But I believe. You say you got LeBron at 3. I might even have LeBron. I definitely had him behind Kobe, and I lightweight got him behind Tim Duncan.
Oof. Man, we'll never get Stephen A. on this show. So, with these guys.
Look at the you'd be surprised. Look at the awards.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
I mean, come on now. I mean, you got to look at Duncan. You got more rings. You got a lot of stuff more than LeBron, except points and rebounds. Because this guy didn't play 25 years. Well, it's going on 25.
Yeah.
So 22. But
it might be 25 before it's all said.
You're going to play with Bryce.
I can see that.
You're making an assumption that Bryce is going to be an NBA player.
I think he
is. I think after he does,
if my brother can average
topic, I think he's going to do a couple years in college.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a solid pro.
Hell, if my brother can average 3 and get in, hell, I know I can average 7 and get in.
And this is what the whole beef was about.
I'm just telling you. And Stephen A. Oh, man.
That's terrible. All right, last one. You must have a relationship with the college or university to be a fan of the team. Define relationship how you want. Either you went there, graduated from there, you got kids that went there, you played for the college or university, obviously. You live in the town or city or state where the university is. You work there.
Man, that's a good one. You got to have some. You got to have some type of relationship, a little bit. You got to have some type of it.
So you can be you cool with Walmart Wolverines,
but they're here though. They live here.
No, you have some people who don't live in the state of Michigan who are Michigan fans and they love, like you said, they love the helmet. They live in California. Hey, but I've been a Michigan Wolverine fan all my life. I love the helmet. I love it. So, yeah, I think that's possible.
So I'm using Notre Dame as an example. I think it would be against all type of rules if I said, I love Notre Dame. Why? You've never been there. Well, actually, I have been, but prior to, through my fandom, I had never been there. Why would I love Notre Dame? Because the Four Horsemen's? The name was cute.
You know why you love Notre Dame?
I don't, but listen.
You know why
tell me why.
Why?
Yeah.
Love Notre Dame? Rudy.
They like the movie.
Everybody love Rudy.
The movie. Oh, man.
And on that note, let's close this out. I think we can stop right there.
You got to let the people know where we can watch St. Francis at.
Hey, you can catch the Red Flash Tubi Game of the Week.
Tubi Game of the Week.
This fall and winter.
Right after
Tune in.
Right after King Cast.
Oh, man.
Hey, it's been another episode of the Brown Couch Bros. Like, share, subscribe. You know why? Because we on the couch.
Yeah, we're back on the couch.
Tell us what
Hey,
you think of the couch.
Comment on the fandoms, man. Let me know where y'all at on that. Check us out on YouTube. Comment. Just let us know where y'all fandom at, why, and so we can expand on that next time we see y'all here on the Brown Couch. Take us on out.
One more. And we out of here.
We out of here.
Peace.